Where do you go to stream music? Spotify, Apple, Amazon, Pandora? If you're French, you might use Deezer. The music streaming platform, founded in 2007, is going public via a SPAC at an implied valuation of $1.1 billion. In today's video, we talk about why Deezer needs to raise hundreds of millions of dollars, the competition that they face, and the bull and the bear case for the equity. Stay with us.
I'm Hannah, back with a tiny microphone, and this is Erin, and you're watching the Piper Rundown. We analyze business and culture to help you win. Today's rundown is presented by JetStore. JetStore has been providing affordable, reliable, and easy-to-manage data storage and cloud solutions to over 4,000 customers worldwide for more than 26 years. That is, in fact, how long I've been alive. They have been helping people with their data storage and cloud management for longer than I've been on this planet. Wild. Check them out at jetstore.com.
Another relatively old startup is finally hitting the public markets via a SPAC. Deezer, the French music streaming company, has agreed to go public at a valuation of $1.1 billion. My apologies to our European listeners who are used to thinking in terms of euros. We are pea-brained Americans.
Simple-minded humans.
And we only think in terms of US dollars. So apologies, but the current conversion rate is about $1.08 to each euro. So you can reduce it by like...
You know what, just keep the billion.
Billion. They could raise as much as $450 million when this transaction is finalized. However, I would suspect that that number will not be, the total will be somewhat less due to redemptions associated with a SPAC. SPACs, when they make these reverse mergers with these blank check companies, they sit on a pile of cash, and the idea is that will be deployed into the company that gets acquired. However, those that park their cash in the reverse merger vehicle always have the choice to pull that back. Deezer has already raised, prior to this round of funding that values it at $1.1 billion, has already raised over $540 million.
Okay.
So they have taken a lot of capital to barely return that exact capital itself in its final valuation.
All right, Deezer. Whew.
We're going to talk about why. Deezer's biggest market is France. They have 29% of the music streaming market there. Their next biggest is Brazil, where they have 17% of the market. However, in total, global music streaming, Deezer only accounts for about 2% of all music streaming. That is because, obviously, the first company that you probably thought of when you thought of music streaming,
Spotify,
holds over 30% of the market share, but Apple and Amazon are both in the teens, and these are businesses that two of the tech giants really do care about. We often talk with other startups, hey, if it's your singular focus and one of those giants isn't really focused on it, you have a great opportunity. This isn't AWS for Amazon, this isn't smartphone sales for Apple, but this is right there in the second tier of services that they offer that are essential for the conveyed value of the subscriptions that they both sell.
Yeah.
And so they give it a lot of focus and intrigue. The reason that this investment is being made and that one might be bullish would be pointed towards the power players that do have a stake in this company. So number one, existing investors in Deezer prior to this offering include Sony, Universal Music, and Warner Music. We've covered some of these labels going public in the past and referenced Len Blavatnik, the Russian oligarch who owns as much as 29% of Deezer personally, in addition to being the owner of Warner Music. So these labels do have a reason to ensure that Deezer continues to exist, and we can be relatively confident that their library of existing music assets will continue to grow given these pre-existing relationships. The merger with 12PO, the reverse merger vehicle, is funded by the Pinot family. This is a French luxury brand similar to your buddy Bernard Arnault.
The Wolf and Cashmere.
They own Kering, which owns Gucci, Balenciaga, Alexander McQueen, Yves Saint Laurent, and a number of eyewear brands. So you can see that they are going to continue to be relevant in the French market. You can see that they're going to continue to have these relationships with the biggest music labels. They just need to figure out how to make some profits.
And how to get a cool moniker.
True.
All right, Aaron, you have some numbies for us?
9.6 million paying subscribers, 90 million songs in their catalog, and well over 800 employees in total.
Wow.
In 2021, they did $430 million worth of revenue. Keep that in your mind, just under $500 million in revenue.
Got it.
They lost $130 million. That's up from the previous year where they lost $95 million.
Okay.
So they are burning a lot of money.
Yeah.
We are going to compare that to two of the other major music and audio streaming platforms in the comp section.
Which I guess we've arrived at now to the comp section. Excellent.
Explain the comp section to them, Hannah.
The comp section is where we discuss comparable companies and competitors in the space.
Spotify has a $25 billion market cap, so basically 25 times the total value.
Yes.
They do $9.6 billion worth of revenue
Hell yeah.
on an annualized basis.
I am part of that proud 9.6 billion.
That is more than 19 times the number of revenue that Deezer does.
Yeah.
And on that revenue, they book a loss of just $34 million.
Astounding.
Now, we've talked in the past about Spotify's deals to acquire podcasting content and podcasting companies. And the reason for that is the margins fundamentally for music streamers is not very strong. At least 70% of every dollar of revenue gleaned from these paying subscribers is passed on directly to those labels. Owning Deezer, having a major stake in Deezer, gives these streamers more leverage against other streamers like Spotify, Apple, Amazon, to basically create some negotiating that says, hey, if you don't want to pay us for these enormous catalogs that we have, we will make our stuff more exclusive, a la Tidal and Block/Cash App's acquisition of Tidal, where we will just drive attention to those platforms by giving them exclusive music rights. So that's why they own these stakes. They want to continue to absorb most of the revenue associated with that. With that remaining 30%, you have operations, you have your own payment to your employees and your teams, and your investment in product, making it very, very difficult to turn a profit on something where you start at 30% margins before all of your actual operation costs come into effect.
Tough.
SiriusXM has also a $25 billion market cap. They own Pandora. They do $8.7 billion worth of revenue.
Wow.
And they make $1.3 billion worth of profit.
Wow.
Now, they're not as reliant on music streaming as Spotify, which is not as reliant on music streaming as Deezer. They've made the move into talk radio, podcast, talk shows, where there is a substantially stronger margin on the revenue collected from those listeners. Kering has a $71 billion market cap. I just wanted to shout that out because I'd never heard of Kering before I started doing research for this video.
Cool. All right, on to the meme factor, where we discuss the memeability of a company on a scale from 1 to 5. 1 is the negative memes, 3 is completely neutral, and 5 are all the positive, dank memes.
Just say it. I know you're thinking of it.
Deezer is a great name.
What does it make you think of in the meme realm?
Well, there is a particular meme that comes to mind. I don't know, Aaron, what does it make you think of?
I mean, clearly,
No,
there's one that comes to mind, so you should
is.
share that.
Well, I don't know. I mean,
Do you want to say the first part or the second part?
First part is all me.
D's?
Ah! Nuts. So this is pretty memeable. I think anything that falls within the entertainment, music, show business industry is automatically pretty memeable. I'm going, man, going 4.6 for Deezer.
Wow. Yeah, I mean, you're a known Spotify.
I am a Spotify stan.
I have to imagine that almost hurt their score in your mind because you love Spotify so much.
I was thinking 4.8 because D's nuts and other factors. but
mostly.
But mostly D's nuts.
I have to imagine there's 9 million Hannahs out there that for them, Deezer is the place that they go for that.
Well, they only have 9.6 million paying subscribers, so 9 million of them can't be Hannahs who think of them in that way. Let's just, come on.
Amazing name. I will ding them because they are French.
Oh, wow. Interesting.
I think that it's very hard to get like really excited about something French.
You don't get excited about croissants?
They're fun to say, but they're pretentious and like the French. So I'm just giving them a 4.1.
Wow. Shocking. I was expecting a higher score from you, Aaron. It's disappointing.
Sorry.
All right, before we move on to the bull and the bear case, let's hear about our sponsor, JetStore, one final time. JetStore offers storage systems for private cloud hosting, video surveillance, Internet of Things, AI, machine learning, edge computing, data archiving, HPC, media production, medical imaging, and even flight simulations, but not these nuts. I can't get it out of my head. We should not do an ad read right after the meme factor.
Tough stuff. They've been around the block. They know what they signed up for.
Yeah. For more info, visit jetstore.com. On to the bull and the bear case.
The bull case starts with the existing relationship that this streamer has with the labels. That is not inconsequential. Yes, all these labels want to get their stuff on more platforms. Should it take off, they can continue to get their pound of flesh for the revenue that is collected. However, the fact that they actually have that ownership stake differentiates Deezer from most of the competition. I think that solidifies the idea that they will continue to exist in some way, shape, or form. This is not a company that they are going to let fail, that they're going to let come apart simply because of its essentiality as a negotiating chip against those other larger platforms. Then you add in the total addressable market. Music is growing as an industry. It was reported that the market for recorded music globally grew 18% last year. That is well above the rate of GDP growth in markets generally. So that suggests that they are in a classic metaphor that we use, a rising tide. A rising tide lifts all boats. Even if you only have 2% market share, if you are taking 2% of a market that grows 18% on an annualized basis, not necessarily saying that's going to continue into the future, then you are going to see an upswing in revenue. That being said, the bear case comes down to the fact that they are competing with very capable, very large brands with an enormous amount of assets to invest. Take out Apple, take out Amazon, take out Spotify. Just SiriusXM and Pandora are substantial players in this market. Mm-hmm. When you add in all four of those, it is hard to conceive of a world where Deezer is anything other than a minority role player. The upside would require really gross misexecution in multiple blue chip companies. I do not foresee that. When you add in the fact that they are more constrained in their capacity to generate profits, given their lack of movement into spoken word and talk show type audio, you see this delineation of the platform where you have Amazon and Apple who really don't care about the profits of this specific service. So you are going against two of the greatest, most capitalized companies in the history of the planet in a market where they don't particularly care about profit margins. And then over here, you have Sirius and Spotify who do care about profits and have taken considerably more steps, considerably more investment, and have larger platforms. And you are chasing those two parties. Either path that you go, you are going into a meat grinder. And I do not see the alternative path outside of just having a nice presence in France, Brazil, and Germany.
That's fair. All right. Well, that's the rundown. Hope you enjoyed it, got a giggle. We do try to grow your business brain here on the Rundown, not just entertain you and make you giggle. So if you want to give us a little smoosh of the like button, we would greatly appreciate it if you feel like your business brain has expanded. And hit subscribe so you don't miss the next Rundown. See you next time.